All right, boys and girls, today we're going to go over day three's assignments. We'll start with reading. So as always, you should be reading on your own for 20 minutes. You can read your book, you can read articles in this packet, you can read things that you can find online. There's always Epic, but you should definitely be reading every day. And then we're going to be reading the story, Dust Bowl Refugees. We're only going to read pages 6 and 7 today. And as you're reading, you're going to look for clues that are going to help explain the word refugees. What does that mean? And then for your writing prompt today, what can you do to prepare for a natural disaster? A natural disaster would be something like an earthquake, a tornado, a tsunami, a volcano eruption. What could you do to prepare for something like that? And then we'll get into math in a little while. Oh, we also have our spelling patterns of oi and I believe ow. We'll be looking at that in just a minute. All right, so let's go ahead and start with the reading. Let me get this flipped over so I can actually read it. Let me make it a little bigger so I can see what I'm doing. Here we go. Dust Bowl Refugees. Ooh, a little bit bigger. Beginning in 1931, the Great Plains region began suffering from drought. Remember a drought? It's when you don't have any rain, it's really, really dry. After months without rain, soil that used to be fertile became arid and barren. Crops that were once lush soon wilted and died. Then heavy winds caused a series of dust storms to ravage the Midwest. So I'm going to kind of guess that from that paragraph, they're saying that the ground became real bad, unable to grow things. That's what it kind of sounds like to me. In 1933 alone, there were around 38 documented dust storms or black blizzards. By 1934, the area seemed like a desert. Then on April 14th, 1935, Black Sunday happened. Winds began to blow and the worst black blizzard hit. Skies filled with dust, houses were buried under mounds of sediment, families tied rope to each other as they tried to make it from their barns to their houses. Finally, when the blizzard stopped, more than 400,000 people had lost their homes and farms. These Dust Bowl refugees, many of them from the hard-hit state of Oklahoma, had no choice but to flee the Great Plains and relocate. They packed their cars with whatever they could carry and left their old lives behind. Many hit the road and migrated to the Northwest, emigrating to California, Washington, or Oregon. They hoped the open roads would lead to a better life. This kind of makes me think about when we were talking about the Oregon Trail. Isn't that what a lot of people left the East for, to try to find a better life? And instead of having a car, they packed up their wagons and headed west. Made a connection. All right, so let's go to our spelling today. So we're going to be looking at words with the ow and the oi sound. Today, the spelling should be real easy. Just read the sentences. Choose the word that best completes that sentence. Make sure you mark them off when you're done so you know you already used it. And then on the bottom, it says write the spelling word that best completes each analogy. An analogy is like comparing things. So gray is to black, as beige is to, so I'm looking for another color word. I would guess brown. Brown and beige seem like they kind of go together. So see what you can do for the rest of these. All right, so let's take a look at math. I like this one. Day 3 math, guess my age task. I met a man who said, if you can guess my age, I will pay you $1 for each year that I have lived. I will also give you 2 hints. If you take my age and divide it by any odd number greater than 1 and less than 9, you will get a remainder of 1. But if you take my age and divide it by any even number greater than 1 and less than 9, you will not get a remainder of 1. Now remember those odd numbers, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and your even numbers are 2, 4, 6, and 8. So you're going to have to figure out how much money could you earn and explain your solution and how you know it is the only correct answer. This is where you will definitely have to show some work. Can't wait to see what kind of answers you guys come up with. Oops. All right. So we have a multi-step problem. During National Recycling Month, Mr. Yardley's class spent 4 weeks collecting empty cans to recycle. During week 2, the class collected 1,256 more cans than they did in week 1. Find the total number of cans Mr. Yardley's class collected in 4 weeks. All right, so you're going to have to figure out what's missing here in number 2, and then what does the total mean? And then it says assess the reasonableness of your answer in part A by estimating the total number of cans collected. If I estimated these numbers, would it come close to what my answer was? Does it make sense? All right, it's got some independent practice, just doing some review of adding multi-digit numbers. Just be careful. Make sure you're lining them up. Remember, you cannot have more than 9 in any one place. You need to regroup. Don't forget that. All right, and then we have, similar to what we've already been doing, you've got a number. What is it? Draw a picture. We can do those tens rods. You can solve it, maybe line them up. You can use any strategy. Maybe you have another strategy that works for you, and write a story, meaning do a word problem. All right, that's it for today's math.